Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bash Yahushua Bash Kadash. Okay, I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Musa and rule well and lead the flock by example. Double honor to them. And Shalom, okay, to the brethren that are pushing this truth and sincerity, okay, spread around the earth, man, okay. Shalom to the elect. Alright, and today's lesson, man, I wanted to, speak on how that everything has its time and everything has its purpose. And I wanted to speak about, the device spoken of in Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse. Okay, and how this time that we are in, the infrastructure that has been built in this society, okay, in Esau's world, his empire, okay, the mentality of the people, okay, and how this is all leading, okay, to the fulfillment of the prophecy in Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse. All right. And on the post-production, I'm going to put, just one or two images of, technology that is pretty much redundant, okay, because it is being replaced by something, a higher form of that technology. It has been replaced with something revolutionary, okay, and when the World Economic Forum leader, okay, when he speaks about the Great Reset, you're going to have that great economic reset because the way in which cash is used, the way in which transactions are administered is constantly being changed. And, the revolution of it is coming through this digital platform, man. And it's going to culminate, in, the MLB, the Revelation 13 and 16. So without further ado, let me get the scripture first and foremost. All right, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven." Okay, so everything has its time, everything has its season. Now, we know that the prophecy of the mark of the Revelation 13 and 16, okay, we know that prophecy that has to be fulfilled before the end of this man's kingdom can come, before the destruction of Babylon and so on and so forth, because there has to be that trial first, okay, that temptation, all right, that the Lord is going to keep, okay, us, we are the hopeful elect. The Lord is going to keep his elect from, pursuant to Revelation 3 and 10, for keeping the word of his patience. Now, if there's a time in to everything in a season and a purpose, that means that the time, okay, is evidently being shown that this is the time now, okay, by looking at the different infrastructure that's being set up, okay, for that system. The time is now, all right? Like, for example, I was meditating on the fact that there was one company, okay, Biohacks in Italia, all right, or Bio, what are they called again? They're not called Biohacks, it's something else. Biotech, I believe, or something like that. Anyway, they were trying to get a license in Italy so that they can, start chipping people, right? And, this has happened over in Sweden and different places. And what was interesting is that one of the concerns that were listed is that, people think we're going to track them. But, but they don't know that there's no capability to do that. Well, think about it like this. That's ignorant because we have chips, okay, within our mobile phones, within our debit cards. If you watch any of these movies, like, for example, Enemy of the State with Will Smith, and Gene Hackman, I believe, that's a good movie to watch because it shows you the capabilities back then when it was showing in the movies, right? I think that movie was made in the 90s, right? We don't even know what kind of technology Esau's packing right now because there was eyewitness accounts back in '89 that he was using lasers to melt down cars back in the Panama incident. All right, if you watch the Panama Deception documentary, now, the scriptures say thou art wiser than Daniel. All right, let's read that quickly. What's that in Ezekiel? 28. And let's start from verse 2. It says, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because that, and by the way, the prince of Tyrus, the modern day prince of Tyrus, is Edomites, the elite of the nation of Esau. It says, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel, and Daniel was a very, very wise prophet. Okay? It's saying that they're even wiser. It says, there is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. So wickedness, man. Okay, war, robbery, all of that. And you know, this man has been given technology. Okay, to what? To forward the prophecy. Okay, that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has ordained. Because remember, pursuant to Isaiah, it says the word goeth not out void, man. All right, so. This, the mark in Revelation 13, I've said it now, but hopefully they don't take that in a video or strike it. But pretty much, the chip, okay, that's really Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's chip, man. Okay, the Lord has given that technology. This is all part of the Lord's movie. This is all part of the test. Okay, all right, and it's going to be, it's administered by these Edomite devils. Okay, and they're going to try and deceive many people and succeed into deceiving many people into taking it, man. All right, and eventually they're going to make it mandatory. All right, and many people are gonna fail to that. But the elect, the scriptures say that the elect can't be deceived, man. All right, so the elect aren't gonna bow down. They're not gonna take the chip. All right, because if you take the mark, if you take the MOB in Revelation the 14th and 9th chapter, it says what? You're going to be burnt with fire, man. You're going to be partaking in that nuclear destruction. Okay, you're going to get a judgment for that, right? Now let's go back to Ecclesiastes 3. So it says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. Well, let's read Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, okay, to precept of that. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. So there's an appointed time to this, okay? Everything has this appointed time. Like, for example, let's quickly get 2 Thessalonians, all right, chapter 2, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. All right. So we had to be, we had to go through the diaspora. We had to go through the falling away. All right. And now, in these end times, the man of sin is being revealed. Who's the man of sin? Esau. All right. He's being revealed for the devil that he is, and everything about him is being revealed. All right. And that verse 4 ties in with what we read in Ezekiel 28. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called most high, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And that's what he's done. Through his technology, through his power, his military, all of that. He's shown, iconoclasm, okay, the Renaissance, through all of that, he is showing himself to be a power. He's used his technology to do things like make a man fly with jetpacks and stuff like that, to wow and woo the people, making fire come down from heaven, okay, these bombs, so that people fear him, man, okay. But we know, we are in the know, okay, we don't fear Esau, we fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, okay. We know that all these things have been given unto him, all right, for the fulfillment of prophecy. In fact, I'll give you an example, because the Lord gave him the blessing of the sword. I'll give you an example. In Isaiah 54:16, it says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. So it's the Lord that gave them these things, man. Okay, the nuclear technology, all of that. Okay, and also, the digital technology. All right, why? For the fulfillment of prophecy, so that Revelation, the 13th chapter, which we're going to read, can be fulfilled. And let's go back to Habakkuk 2. It says, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. So there's an appointed time. For example, the last few years, what you had? You had the 5G technology. Now I was going into how they said they weren't going to track. Okay, but hold on a second. For example, I mentioned that the RFID, the NFC, these things, this technology is within our phones, within the cards. How do they track those things? Okay, they got satellite technology. They got the trace of the chip giving out a signal so that they can track where you are. That's why you got location on your phone. All right, you know, GPS on your device when you're driving in your car. Okay, some people use their phones for the GPS, for the Google Maps, or whatever. How do you think that pinpoints your location, man? You know? So it ain't gonna be any different, okay, with the chip. They actually want to be able to know exactly where you are at what point. All right? It says, but at the end, and they're designing a system around it, okay? All the payment systems, which, you know, payment is part of, a big part of it, the buying and selling, as it's going to read in Revelation 13. The payment system has gone to a cashless society, all right? It's going to a complete cashless society, man. And they're making it harder and harder for businesses and individuals, people, to use cash. They're penalizing the use of cash, okay? And they're constantly pushing the ease and the quickness of using a card. In fact, one thing that they say is, look, if you use a contactless card, it's so and so much seconds quicker than bringing out cash to pay. You got to go into your wallet, bring out the cash. That's what they're saying. And now with this new thing in the earth, okay, which ain't really, you know, it's that old devilry, okay, where Esau's brought forward this, you know, this jab, this thing that they're taking a jab for. Okay, what they said, oh, okay, with cash, or you can contaminate the cash. Okay, so people should use less cash. Now people look at you sideways in the West when you try and use cash to pay for things, man. Everyone's using card, everyone's using their phones to make payments. And the next step from that, okay, is to actually put the chip in people, man. Right? It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. It says, but at the end it shall speak. And we're at the end. We're at the end of this man's society. We're at the end. Okay, it's the scriptures say Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. First of all, we know that we're in Esau's kingdom. Okay, Esau is the so-called white man. He is the wicked, pursuant to Malachi, the 1st chapter and the 4th verse. And the earth has been given into his hands, and he's covered the faces of the judges. Who did that? The Edomites did that. Okay, I mentioned iconoclasm, Renaissance art, where they took all the dark images of our people, the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, took our images in Europe, in around the different places, Russia, so on and so forth, and put up their images and destroyed those images, painted over them, whitewashed them. So who did that? The Edomites did that, the so-called white man. And that's how we know that we're in his empire. We're at the end of his empire now, okay? Or the end of his rulership, the little season that he was loosed. Okay, this is really because he was in power in the Roman Empire. This is the final leg of the Roman Empire, coming back, the pagan Roman Empire. Okay? Let's read that. Let's read the prophecy in Revelation, the 13th chapter. Okay, and I'm going to go from the blue letter. All right, this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you can't buy or sell save if you have this thing in Revelation the 13th chapter and the 16th verse. Now let's go into that word. Okay, let's go into that word in the Greek. Okay, and the word you're going to find in the Greek, okay, is charagma, which means a stamp, an imprinted mark. It means something that's carved in, it's put into you. Okay, right? And that's talking about the mark of the beast. Now, when we go into the root word of that, the word charax, okay, it says a pale or stake, a palisade. That's talking about the instrument that they're going to use to put it in you. All right. So this is building an understanding. When you go into the root word, see, that's why it's important to go into the words as our apostles and elders have taught us. Okay, because then you have the true understanding of what was being said. Now, when we go further into the word there is grapho. Okay, and it says, there's a couple things it says. I'm going to read it. It says, the second point, to write with reference to the contents of the writing, to express in written characters, to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down, record. Okay, because everything that's going to be, all your information is going to be on that chip. It's going to be recorded. Okay, and it's going to be able to be accessed at any time by Esau, man. That's how he wants it. He wants a bunch of, basically he wants you people to be robot drone slaves, Okay, that he can access your information at any time, your health, this and that, and he's going to try and present it to you that way. He's going to say, well, you don't have to bring around the medical card, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that, you don't have to carry this stuff around you anymore, you don't have to carry cash, you don't have to carry this and that. It's all going to be in that thing, and people are going to jump to it and flock to it. Okay, they're going to think, oh, this is an amazing thing. There's people that say that they look at it like the next step, the next revolutionary step in technology. Okay, and it can be seen in that way. Okay, but what did the Lord say? This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them. Okay, which by the way, it's against the Lord to do that. You cannot make. Let me quickly read that in Leviticus 19. Right, 19, and bear with me. This is Revelation 19 and 28. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. You can't make no cuttings into the flesh. Okay? That's why you're not meant to be getting tattoos. You're not meant to be doing these things. Alright? That's against the Lord the Most High. Now, let's go back into Revelation 13. Right? Lost my train of thought. Where was I? Right? Yeah, back into that word. Alright? Grapho. Yeah, so you're not meant to take this thing. Oh, sorry, I was reading the judgment. This is Revelation 14 and 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark on his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. That's the destruction. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, that's the nukes, in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So that's the judgment for taking it, man. Alright? And this is deadly serious. Alright? Now the elect are going to be saved from taking that judgment, man. Okay? We look at that chip like, okay, we know that when the chip gets pushed like that, we're almost out of here. And that's what we're waiting for. Okay? We just got to be patient. Okay? He says, and trust in the Lord, Yahweh Shmi Ashai, as we do. This is Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So this is going to be a trial for all that are upon the earth. And if they don't have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Lord, if they're not in the Lord, Yahweh Shmi Ashai, if they're not of the elect of the nation of Israel, then you know what? They're going to take it, man. Okay, because they're going to trust in Esau. They're going to be deceived by the devil. All right? But we are not ignorant to Satan's devices. Right? And it's deadly serious. Let's read Revelation 20 and 4. And I'm going to show you how deadly serious it is and how serious we take it. And I saw thrones and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded. So there's going to be certain brothers, not all brothers, but some certain brothers are going to actually go through a beheading. And we all keep that in our mind. We know that the scriptures have written it. So this is all things in our mind. We know this. Right? It says, I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai. And those brothers that go through that are going to be risen first with the Lord, man. Okay? It says, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, EU and NATO, neither his image, okay, his philosophies, the so-called white man's philosophies, okay, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. So they didn't receive the mark. Okay, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. So, okay, the kingdom, we're gonna, the reward, okay, for not trusting in this man, okay, he's gonna present it like, yo, this is the time, this is it now. Okay, we've got the infrastructure set up, everything being set up, and we can see it clear as day. Okay, we can see this prophecy, okay, coming into its fruition, coming into that boiling point where it's gonna come to pass. Okay. And there's certain places where people are getting it, but the whole world is going to be tried by this thing, man. Okay? And that's the major prophecy we're waiting for before the end comes, before the destruction that's coming upon this place. You know? That's why we're constantly reporting on these videos. And that's why anytime you try and say that word at beginning with M, they're trying to clip channels, they're making it an issue, man. Why? Because... And they weren't making it such an issue before. Now, all of a sudden, medical misinformation, this and that, they're making it such an issue. Because they're looking to push this thing heavy, man. All right, and that's the time that we're in. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. And the end it shall speak. And boy, are they prophecies speaking. All right. So, hey, there's a warning, man. Okay, to not take that Revelation 13 and 16. To not take that chip. Okay, to not to not take the all that is given by Esau, for you to bow down to Esau and worship him, for you to call him your perpetual master. Okay? The Lord ain't with that, man. All right? And those of our people that do that, they gotta get reset. You know what? They gotta feel the pain. They gotta go through the judgment. Okay? They gotta get burnt and come back. Their spirits gotta go up into the spiritual realm. They gotta come back as the children of the elect. They gotta come back right, man. Okay? They need the reset, man. So, hey, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson, in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Ba'ashem Kadash. Lord willing is exhortational. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Okay, and shalom to the elect. Shalom.